Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 448. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Welcome back from the big old long weekend, everybody. Except for you. You worked on Friday. Strategic move.
Yeah.
Strategic.
Let's call a spade. It was.
I can appreciate the mastermind behind that.
It was about as low effort of a work day as possible. And it's okay if my boss hears that. The reality of it is nobody was really working. I mean, I can't create work for myself.
This is true.
Everybody decided to turn it into a 4-day weekend. Understandably so. But if I have the ability to log my hours and kind of have a pretty low-key day, I'm going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
That's brilliance on my part.
Yeah, it's true. I have a gripe on the Sky Harbor Phoenix Airport. Trying to save some money by parking in the economy lot. Right? That's why it's named the economy lot. Economically, it should be cheaper, right? Well, economy lot east, full. Economy lot west, full. Parking garage west, full. Where do we have to park? The park and walk lot that's like 3/4 of a mile away from the nearest terminal. So when we parked at the airport Thursday, it was like 1:10 outside. And we had to walk all the way.
I'm out
to get to the train. And then on the way back, when we got here, again, I had to walk all the way out there. It was insane. And I'm like, there's got to be people that are like dying on this trip. You know what I mean? And no shuttle goes out that far. It's insane. That's it. Started off, yeah. It's the Yankees suck. Weekend traveling. We had to go grocery shop. I don't know what you're gonna get today. I don't know what you're gonna get. I can't promise anything.
Did you at least have a good fourth?
I had a good fourth.
Good. That's what's important. Rolling
Good
into
burger.
the week after the fourth.
Good burger. Good dog. Ketchup and mustard. For those curious. Sorry, Ryan.
Look, I'm getting to a point in my life. I thought about it some over the fourth, as hot dogs and hamburgers were plenty, cheeseburgers were plenty. I'm getting at a point. Maybe it's coming with age. Maybe it's me maturing. I don't judge people as much for the whole mustard thing. Like if that's the move, that's your move. Personally, I don't need the mustard. I don't like mustard. But
I got judged for ketchup this weekend. Paige judged me and my stepdad judged me for ketchup as a play.
No, I would venture to say maybe some biases at play here, but if you polled 1,000 people in a room, that's a big room. Yeah. If you poll 1,000 people, I would venture to say more than half, if only given the choice to choose one, are taking ketchup. Right?
I would agree. I think that's fair. Yeah.
Am I crazy? Okay.
I think that's fair. I did get smacked in the face with allergies, though. Boy, did I. Wow. I thought I was going to have to stay there. Couldn't breathe, couldn't see. My eyes are still messed up. It's been a mess.
It's going to be a heck of an episode.
It's going to be
for old Nate boy.
It's going to be something.
Spencer says ketchup.
Yeah.
Right on, Spencer. Spencer knows what's up.
Yeah, ketchup. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with ketchup.
And then we get ketchup on a hot dog as a monstrosity.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, that's going away. I don't need to show
we had some
that.
momentum there. Thought we had some momentum. Whatever. How about you?
Unreal.
Good fireworks? Getting fireworks in?
Yeah, man, dude. The fourth. This is probably the most active fourth I've had in a long time. Active just in the sense of like we're going like the whole day. We woke up, got a bagel and some coffee.
Good.
Went down to the old 4th of July parade down where we used to live, down in the city of Fairfax. Okay. And then came home, went to our community pool party.
Okay.
We got games and food and music, and then wrapped up with that, came home, got cleaned up, went over to the parents' house, and then headed down to a big old fireworks show. It was just it was a packed day.
Wow.
And then before that, we had, the cookout, the burgers, and the dogs and all that. It was good. It was good 4th. Very good 4th.
That is good. Good for you. That's good
with
stuff.
ketchup. With ketchup, I will add.
With ketchup.
Let us talk about the news that broke this evening.
Lettuce.
Or that was released to us this evening. The All-Star pitchers and reserves. And then we also got to talk about some names that were added to the Home Run Derby. A couple NL East names, one of which I think is I don't know, man. One of these names, a little bit surprising, a little bit curious. But another one about as predictable as you could get. But let's talk about these pitchers and reserves. Looking at the American League, reserves and pitching staffs, we got Josh Naylor, we got Marcus Semien, Rafael Devers, Isaac Paredes, Carlos Correa, Bobby Witt, Salvi Perez, Kyle Tucker, Jarren Duran. Let's take a moment. I've been pushing for the Jarren Duran All-Star movement for a while. I'm not going to say I was the leader behind that movement, but I've been pushing for that for a while.
Some could say.
I'll be honest though, I didn't think that post on Instagram was going to do as well as it did. That got people worked up. And hey, look, not even just Red Sox fans. There were people coming to Jarren's defense going, this is one of the more electric players I've seen in some time.
Yeah.
And look, they've been talking about it on these broadcasts that I've been watching. This is like the ultimate player that I think a lot of people have been longing for some time when you're just faced with the two true outcome type hitters or the can only hit for contact type players. Jarren Duran has, I mean, sure, you can look at guys like Bobby Witt and Gunnar Henderson and guys like that who seemingly have the full package, but in terms of what he's able to do on the base pass, even more so, I think, than guys like that, and then what he's able to do at a premier outfield position, big props to Jarren Duran. Just want to throw that out there. Gotta play homer just for a little bit there.
Sure.
Riley Green, David Fry, and then for the staff, we got Garrett Crochet, Tarek Skubal. Did I mention on here how I got called out for that? How I kept saying for the longest time I've called him Tariq Skubal.
Sure, I did too.
And forgive me, I can't remember who reached out to me, but somebody reached out and was like,
Tigers fan was like, yeah, stop saying that.
They're like, Kyle, how many times do you have to hear the name to know? He was like, it sounds like Derek, but it's Tarek. And I was like, all right, hey, that's on me. That's just, first of all, that's just me being awful with names. So
that is true.
Give me a little bit of grace.
You're already off to a tough start there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's known. That's well documented.
It's not good. Tarek Skubal, Tanner Houck, Seth Lugo, Cole Reagans, Logan Gilbert, Corbin Burns, Tyler Anderson.
Great names. All these names. I have no issue with any of these names. Not a one.
Relief, we got Mason Miller, Kirby Yates, Clay Holmes, Emmanuel Clase.
There's my issue right there.
Yep.
I'll keep that to myself.
Hey, just for a second though, can we do a little compare and contrast on, because I saw some gripes about the Clay Holmes over Kenley Jansen. I'm at a loss for words here. The
snub?
Yes. Can we pull up Clay Holmes' numbers real quick? I need to pull up.
You go Kenley?
Yeah, I need to pull this up because There's a lot, even Red Sox fans, there's a lot of Red Sox fans talking about, we need to get rid of this guy, trade him away. But
That's true. Let's preface this conversation with any of those Red Sox fans that have been wanting to get rid of him for years. Not your time to come to defense. I'm not going to, we're not going to do that here. Don't switch camps. If you wanted this guy gone a few years ago, don't sit here and say that he deserves to be an all-star. You're not allowed to. You lost the right.
Also, like, read the room. Where's the team at in relation to the rest of the field? Like, hello, what are we trying to do here? Come September, come October. He's obviously playing a big role in that. Kenley Jansen on the year has got a WAR of 1.4, an ERA of 2.08. He's appeared in 30 games and has 17 saves. What do we got for Clay Holmes?
19 saves, 3 flat ERA. I don't have WAR. 138 or ERA plus. I'm watching 2022 all over again. I'm watching 2022 with an amazing first half and then just an epic collapse. It's also just been not just Clay Holmes. It's been I think I saw Friday, the save that he blew against the Red Sox was his first save opportunity since like middle of June. So it was almost like, it was like 3 weeks without a save opportunity. So anytime he was coming in between that was like weird opportunities that normally a closer wouldn't be in. Not that he needs excuses or anything. He's just been bad lately, but it's been a weird combination. Not to mention the Red Sox have seemingly figured it out for the most part for the last month or so. So like there's a little recency bias there, but whatever. I don't want to spend too much time on this.
Looking at the staff,
headlights.
Looking at the staff for the American League, who would you like to see start? And
this is the full staff on this Bleacher Report article, right?
Oh, well, yeah. I just read everybody off.
So this is the full roster. Okay.
Throw numbers out the window. Again, you can do that. You can do that with the All-Star game because apparently numbers don't matter for this event anyway. We've said that time and time again.
Sure.
So this is just a promotional event. This is a fan favorite event. Given that, who would you want to see take the hill as a starter for the American League? And I'll ask the same for the National League, obviously, when we get to it. But for the American League, who would you like to see based on the way the year's gone thus far for these guys?
I feel like I could have said Scooble like in a landslide. It's been a little wishy-washy. I think there's a lot of starters that are kind of reaching that stamina expiration date. Not that like it's done, but like I think there's a lot of guys that are crawling to the All-Star game, and I think he might be one of them. Started off great. It's hard to say, man. I mean, like Burns is just Corbin Burns, and like I feel like that's just a safe fallback name. If we're going to the theme that I have been like, if we're throwing out numbers, if we're throwing out logic most of the time with what this All-Star game is.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
People in the chat, let us know who you would want to see start the All-Star game.
Give me a starter.
Who would you want to see start for the American League in the All-Star game?
The same logic, coincidentally the same team. We had this argument last week. I wanted Sal Perez in there representing the AL as a catcher. The same logic of like, why not? We're not going to get these opportunities much longer. I think Seth Lugo starting the game would just be the coolest thing to see. I think it would be pretty dang cool for the career that guy's had, for the ups and downs, for all the different jerseys he's worn, like what he's done this year, what he's put together. I think it's been pretty cool. I don't think it'll happen, but I think that man deserves some respect on his name. And how about the Royals, man? Give me 2 names in there.
Don't even. I'm not even gonna act surprised. I'll leave that. No. I'm gonna leave that to you and Mr. Ryan Ripken to be taken aback by how well the Royals are doing. I've been saying this. I've been on the Royals, so this is just par for the course for me. So I'm not even gonna get excited. But hey, I don't mean anything by that negatively. I'm just saying. I'm glad you're realizing it. I've been on the Royals for a minute now.
I mean, there's 6 games over 500. It's not like they're...
It's
a great turnaround. It's a great turnaround.
Games...
But they're 9 games better in the division.
But that's what I'm saying. I never said they were going to win the division.
I think you did.
I absolutely did not.
You did not pick them?
The quote graphic itself said they're a lock. Is something to the effect of they're a lock for the 6 wild card seed. Put it in Sharpie or something like that.
I see. All right. 1 game back in the wild card at the moment. That's fine.
I mean, dude, a dream scenario would be if the Sox could slide in like the 5th, or I mean, who knows? Maybe even the 4th seed, and then the Royals hit the 6th. And nail that prediction, because I think that was the prediction coming in the season that I was riding the hardest, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Talk to me about your starter. Who do you got? Are you going Houck?
Man, I had Garrett Crochet in fantasy, and I think I've mentioned this when we were talking about Garrett Crochet and Luis Robert, when the buzz started circulating around them surrounding the trade market, I think I said something on here to the effect of this just feels like he's on a streak right now. He's off to a great start, but I just feel like it's just going to take maybe 1 to 2 starts, and then he's just going to fall off the map, and he just won't be able to bounce back. But credit to him. He's figured out something this year, and he's been able to replicate it almost start after start. Yeah. And it's been impressive to watch. And if we're going off of buzz, I feel like I've heard Garrett Crochet's name thrown around the most as of late. I'm talking like last week or 2, just with the strikeout numbers that he's been able to put up. There goes another Rafael Devers home run, by the way. The answer for me, I think, as much as I love Tanner Houck, I think there's been just a little bit of regression there as of late, and the narrative surrounding the All-Star game, I think, heavily relies on the whole "what have you done for me lately" kind of thing, just in terms of perception. And I think Garrett Crochet has done exceptionally well.
Yeah,
not just late, but really the whole season thus far. So
yeah, you're probably not alone in that thought. I think it makes sense. Be kind of crazy. I wonder the last time a guy started an All-Star game but didn't finish the season in that uniform. Not that it's a done deal, but I mean, it's pretty likely he gets moved. Just wonder when the last time that was. It's an interesting thing.
Was it? You think it was maybe CC when he ended up? He got traded to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, yeah. Do you think he started that All-Star game? That's such a great guess.
That's a good question.
That's a great guess.
What year? Hold on. Now I'm curious. What year was he traded?
I think it was 08 because he signed with the Yankees in 09.
Excellent. 2008. MLB All-Star Game starting pitchers 2008. 2008 MLB All-Star Game starting pitchers. Starters. Come on now. Where are the starting lineups? It was Ben Sheets of the Brewers and Cliff Lee of the Indians at the time.
Well, he would have been in an AL because he was an Indian.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Cliff Lee that got the job over him.
But ironically enough, the Brewers, Ben Sheets of the Brewers. Yeah. Dang.
That is pretty wild.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's a weird thing to look up and be like, I wonder when that last name was. What's the chat saying? I'm sure they're kind of leaning towards Crochet. Yeah. Little school bowl.
I think the chat's asleep. I'm not seeing any.
Come on, chat.
I'm not seeing any thoughts on who they'd want to see start the All-Star game for the AL. But
good for
in the
Tyler
meantime,
Anderson, by the way. Little comeback.
Good for Tyler Anderson.
Some good names in this list.
Mason Miller snagging the representation for the A's. Love that. Over Brent Rooker, who I believe his name is being thrown around as a possible snub here. But
it's just a stacked AL outfield. Stacked. The AL outfield it's not even close. It's night and day between AL and NL outfield.
Very much so.
Very, very deep. Good for David Fry sneaking in there. I think Riley Green, this is not going to be his last name. See, that looks like Tariq right there, Spencer. That looks like you've spelled out Tariq. That's incorrect, sir. It's Tarek.
Tariq all day. National League.
Known that the whole time.
National League. We're looking at the reserves and staff for the National League. We got Pete Alonso at first, Freddie Freeman. Second, we got Luis Arias. Third base, Ryan McMahon. Short, we got Mookie Betts with the honorary naming selection to the All-Star team. Ellie De La Cruz, CJ Abrams.
Love that.
Behind the dish, we got Will Smith in the outfield. We got Teoscar Hernandez, Jackson Merrill. Good for Jackson Merrill. Having a great year. Having an excellent year.
Ramos too.
Dude, it's talking about being terrible with names.
I was hoping you'd fly by this. I was hoping you wouldn't bring it up.
No, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna call.
I think it's Elliot.
I typed this out one time on our note. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can find it.
See if you can find like a game or something. Go back to like the broadcast saying it.
No, it's. I typed it out. Hold on. I think I got it right here.
Helio.
I think it's Elliot. I think you pronounce it Elliot. I did. I typed it out because I went back and checked.
That's what I just said.
Is that what you said? Yeah, Elliot Ramos. Where am I at here? Elliot Ramos, Brian Reynolds, and then for the DH, Marcelo Zuna.
Duh.
For the staff,
right there.
We got Ranger Suarez, Tyler Glasnow, Shota Imanaga, Ronaldo Lopez. As I finish up the staff, chat, who do you want to see start the All-Star game for the National League? Ronaldo Lopez, Logan Webb, Paul Skeens, Chris Sale,
Zach Wheeler with the Phils.
Zach Wheeler.
That's a good bunch.
Hey, shout out to Paul Skeens. The list of Major League players to be drafted first overall and make the All-Star team the very next season. How many people do you think are on that list? 1. Paul Skeens. That's it. That's the list. Big props to Paul Skeens.
The hard cut. Love that.
Evan says, get Ronaldo Lopez on the bump to start the All-Star game, leading in the ERA category.
I like that.
Hey, you know what? A lot of people don't like to talk about ERA as much anymore, but I'm still holding fast and strong to the statistical category of ERA because that's important. Because the point of a pitcher is to limit runs.
That's the whole point.
Specifically, runs that you can control, which is what earned runs are. Yeah. So, I wouldn't hate it. That's another guy I had in fantasy and traded away because I didn't think that was going to last. Yeah. Ronaldo Lopez said, suck one. So
Imanaga, has he righted the ship at all? I haven't looked at the last few starts, but I know there was a real tough streak going.
Yeah. His last outing he went 6 deep against the Phillies, only gave up 3 runs, had 8 Ks.
Okay.
And honestly,
It's not a quality start.
outside, well, I mean, we say right of the ship. Honestly, outside of that start against the Mets, where he got routed for 10 runs on 11 hits in just 3 innings. Before that, he was doing just fine. Really. I mean, there was a rough start against the Brewers I'm seeing here. But Reds, he went 6 2/3, 7 Ks. Cardinals, 7 innings, 6 Ks, 1 earned run. Giants went 6 innings, only gave up 3. So I mean, I think righted the ship, and I'm not saying you're wrong for saying that, because I kind of felt the same way. At least that's how I was perceiving it.
This is like a uneducated, haven't looked at numbers. I've just
in a while.
I saw that one blow up, and
yeah,
I thought it was followed by something rough afterwards as well.
I mean, to say we haven't looked at numbers, I mean, that's just speaking very recently, because there for a while we were only looking at numbers with Shorty Imanaga because he was just putting up incredible start after incredible start. So that's a fair assumption, but based on what we're seeing numbers wise as of late, it was really just that one blow up, and I think he's been fine otherwise.
I think it's crazy that you could probably have guessed that there would be 2 Brave starters that were going to make the All-Star team. I don't think anyone would have said these 2 names, though.
That is an excellent point.
That's pretty crazy.
That is an excellent point.
To get punched in the mouth the way they did with Strider, and like, it's good for these 2 guys, specifically Reynaldo. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah.
Evan in the chat says, as much as I like Skeens, he hasn't been pitching all seasons. I feel like it'd be a slap in the face to let Skeens start versus a pitcher who's been lighting up all year.
I think it would be a little bit of a buzz decision.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But look, I mean, the reality of it is, and I feel like 9 times out of 10, I'd probably agree with Evan. And I'm not saying I disagree or agree, but like, let's just look at let's look at his body of work thus far. And I understand he hasn't been here. He hasn't been here all year. He's 5-0. He's got an ERA of 2.12.
How many starts? 7? 6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's got 10 starts, dude.
Okay. 10 starts.
We're double-digit starts for Skeens. A whip of 101, 78 strikeouts. Can I just run through his log of Ks thus far?
Please do.
All right, so he made his debut against it, because remember, he had those back-to-back starts against the Cubs to start his career. 7 Ks. And this is starting from his first start to now. 7 Ks, 11 Ks, 3 Ks. 9 Ks, 8 Ks, 8 Ks, 7 Ks, 8 Ks, 9 Ks, 8 Ks. Normally, I would agree with something like that, where it's like, hey man, this guy hasn't put up the full body of work. But like, if the only thing that you can knock Paul Skeens on is the innings, but everything else he's done production wise has, I don't know, like at least been somewhat in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Of what some of these other guys have done. And I'm not
That's true.
I'm not saying comparatively to a guy like Chris Sale or something, because Chris Sale is obviously having like a career year. Mm-hmm. But like, for a guy that makes the All-Star team, for him to have numbers that are comparable to what other guys have done the whole first half, I mean, that's just, you don't see that very often. You don't see that very often.
No, it's a great point. It's a really good point. I don't know. I'd love to see it. I'm not going to complain if that's the case. But I do think that there's I think it's just a level of respect. Why am I blanking on who's in the... Oh, the Diamondbacks. Duh. I was trying to think of who the manager is going to be.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I feel like Torey Lovullo's he's been around the game long enough that I think there's like this, I don't think there's an unwritten rule about this because this is pretty unprecedented. Like this is like an uncharted territory thing, but I think there is like this understanding of earning your way that Torey Lovullo will probably recognize. But at the same time, it's like this game doesn't mean anything.
Right.
And this guy is literally quickly becoming a very, very household name for our game.
Even outside of baseball.
Outside of baseball fans.
And we can mock the whole Livy Dunn situation, but like the reality of it is that's very real factor here.
We've got the same way, and I'm not putting on the same scale fandom wise, but like you have non-NFL fans watching NFL games for Taylor Swift. So that is there. I don't know, man. I wouldn't hate it. Anyway. Reliever wise, I'm not feeling this at all.
Well, last thought on the Skeens thing. Your point about there being a feel for Torey being like, hey, you know, you got to earn your way here. I agree with you 1,000%. But it makes one wonder how much of, or if at all, of an influence does, say, the powers that be. I don't know who that is with Major League Baseball or somebody above Torey. I don't know. How much influence is taking place in regards to maybe possibly giving Skeens the nod because of the impact that he's had in.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's plenty of argument there. There's plenty of argument that someone could be pushing this along.
Like somebody just getting in his ear and be like, hey man, like we get your background, we get kind of your whole earn your stripes situation and your upbringing and the way that you manage the game. But we got a guy that a lot of people are talking about right here on our hands. And this doesn't come around very often. So maybe let's just give the people what they want.
You can also make the argument that Torey Lovullo might not find himself back in this seat. This could be a once in a lifetime thing for him.
Very real.
So why not rock the boat? You know what I'm saying? Why not go out with a bang? So
very valid.
I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be weird to see if he does. I don't think there's going to be any open backlash, but I think there is going to be this poor taste in the mouth for veterans. It's hard to say, though.
Andrew says Livy Dunn over Paul Skeens. Yeah, I mean, depends on who you ask, I guess, but no, I can't really comment on that, Nate. I don't think you can really comment on that either. Relief-wise, in the pen, we got Ryan Helsley with the Cardinals, Tanner Scott with the Marlins, Robert Suarez with the Padres, Matt Strahm with the Phillies, and Jeff Hoffman for the Phillies. So, did I read right? I think I saw something earlier that said the Phillies are sending 7 to the All-Star game. We got Harper, Bohm, the 2 that I just listed off, Strahm,
Trey.
Hoffman, Trey. Who else am I missing here? Oh, Zach Wheeler.
Suarez and Wheeler.
And Suarez, yeah. Wow. Good for the Phils, man.
Yeah.
See, like that I'm okay with. That like it. I mean, the Trey thing we talked about. I think that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with the best team in baseball at this point in time.
Yeah.
I'm like 99% sure.
Yeah.
Having a majority of guys in there.
Yeah.
But like the whole, who was it? I don't mean to throw a ricochet here or a stray, but was it the Blue Jays that were making the push? Whether the fans were making the push? We talked about it recently.
Yeah,
I think it was the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we don't need that. But like a team that's the best in baseball presumably has a list of names that are contributing and producing, so it makes sense. Speaking of which, unless you have any thoughts to wrap us up here.
I think AL takes it again, just based on these rosters.
I mean, come on, man. They're very clearly there's a better league in baseball. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but it's just the reality. And like, depends on who you ask. The All-Star game could be an indicator of that.
Could be.
Mean, I don't know how else you'd evaluate that. Like, you just look at like overall records amongst the leagues. I don't know if that's necessarily the best indicator because they're a lot of times you're just beating up on one another.
Yeah.
But if the All-Star game is any indicator, I mean, the American League has the advantage hands down for the last, 3 decades at this point?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just continue to prove us right.
But no, talking about Phillies, let's switch gears here. Home Run Derby. Alec Boehm has announced his entry into the Home Run Derby, as well as Pete Alonso. I was mentioned earlier, one of these names just about as predictable as it gets, Pete Alonso. But Alec Boehm, how do we feel about Alec Boehm being in the Home Run Derby?
I'm a little surprised. This is what I'm saying is that I think I don't know how the process goes, but I think whatever committee is putting together the roster, I think they're working their way through names. I think they're getting a lot of no's. I think they're getting a lot of people saying no. And it's no offense to Boehm.
No.
But we're 5 days closer than when we last talked. And we only added 2 more names to the 8 that we need. So it's like, what's the issue here? Why are so many guys saying no? Is the reward not worth it? I don't know. Do we need a ranger in this, right? You got to have one hometown guy. Remember Todd Frazier in Cincy? That was electric.
Yeah, I mean, you go down the list, like Harper in DC.
Yeah. Prince was in Detroit, right?
I think so. We haven't been to Yankee Stadium since Judge has been up, right? That was the last time we were at Yankee Stadium was the old Yankee Stadium, right?
Correct.
With Josh Hamilton and all that.
It was 08.
I said there was a list. Now I'm struggling to remember who was on that list.
But anyway, we need some names. I don't know if it's Seager or Dolis, but
true. That's on us. We shouldn't have called him Pete Alonso. That's Peter. We got to be better. We need cameras in the weight room, Julio last year. Where was it before?
Cleveland?
When was it in Colorado? It was supposed to be in Atlanta. Was that 21?
I was in Colorado, and that was
21. And that's when it was supposed to be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I don't think did we have any Rockies in that?
I don't think so. Nah, was Charlie Blackmon in that?
No, if anything, was Trevor Story. When did Trevor Story come to Boston, dude?
No, Trevor Story was in that. That's right. I think that is the good call. Well,
it's been so long.
Yeah.
Where the heck was the 2022 All-Star game? Was that LA?
I think it was LA. Yeah.
That was LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, you make a good point. I feel like we have to have a ranger there. I don't know. I mean, Adolis is having somewhat of a pedestrian year, but
my man's gonna absolutely put on a show.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe he's the kind of guy where that flips a switch for him.
That's a good point. Guys like maybe like shake it up, like Randy. You know what I'm saying? Get a Rosarena back in there. That'll get him going again.
Yeah, honestly, like maybe this is an opportunity where we just run through some of the names of guys that are having a little bit of
use it.
Having a little bit of a down year.
Yeah.
and I'm not, I may be way off base by saying this. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if this is just way out of left field. But I feel like majority of the international guys don't adhere to the whole like, oh, this is going to mess up my swing mentality. I would venture to say that a majority, especially the Latin guys,
it's just
they're
the
just
vibe,
like, let me just go out and rake. Let me just cause as much commotion as I can.
Yeah.
Let me just hit a baseball as far as I possibly and humanly can.
Yeah.
And let's just see what happens.
It's because they're not soft. Yeah.
Hey, you said it, not me, but you're right.
Yeah.
Like, am I onto something there? Like, I feel like,
give me Tim Anderson as a free agent in there.
now that would be crazy.
That'd be wild if we had a free agent home run derby candidate participant.
Yeah, get Zach Greinke in there.
Mad bum out of retirement.
Free agent.
What?
Speaking of which, I was just browsing not to talk about fantasy so much, but I was browsing the fantasy app today, just seeing maybe
Still
if there's
available,
a name
Mad
to
Bum?
add. No, he's obviously available. But it said he was rostered by 0.1% of people. And I'm going, who's rostering Madison Bumgarner right now in fantasy baseball? I don't understand how that makes any sense.
Something tells me that's a keeper league, and the year they won it, Mad Bum was on the team, and they just can't shake it up too much.
That's fair.
I think that's just superstition right there.
That's fair.
Which you can't fight. You can't argue that.
Can't argue that. Speaking of superstition, something had to have been working for Jose Miranda. What a run.
Goodness.
And I understand that this comes around once every, I don't know, however many years. But like, just because it's a statistical anomaly does not take away from like the significance of this and the difficulty of this. And like, yeah, you could make the argument that like, oh, well, like the law of averages, or like it was bound to happen to somebody. It just happened to be Jose Miranda. Sure, I get all that.
Yeah.
But like, don't take anything away from Jose Miranda, because like you still got to go up there. That's why I never understand why people talk about like, well, like they always go back to Jeter's final AB in Yankee Stadium. Like, well, that was rigged. I go, sure, like you could do your absolute best to manipulate the situation. Like I don't believe baseball is rigged, but if it was, you could do. By the way, Spencer says Mad Bum is rostering Mad Bum. That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
I don't even think Mad Bum has a smartphone.
No, I don't even think he has a phone, period.
Yeah.
But no, you could do your best to manipulate the game situationally, but at the end of the day, you still got to put bat to ball. And when you're facing major league, I don't care if it's the bum of bums on the opposing team staff, you still got to put bat to ball. So for people saying, oh, like the Jeter thing was rigged, no, save it. So all that to say, what Jose Miranda did, 12 straight ABs with a hit, that is impressively difficult to achieve.
That's stupid.
That's
stupid.
I mean, I'm trying to think at what point during that run are you like, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm happy with this. If I finish the day going over, like I'm happy. Like I'm thinking like the first 6 hits, you're like, all right, like that's a healthy little bump to the old batting average. Like I'll take that. And he's like, psych, I'm halfway done. I got 6 more to go. His average, by the way, speaking of averages, jumped from 294 to 329.
Dang. That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
35 points.
Trying to see. Oh, it's not going to say. They were all home games, by the way.
By the way, this 12 straight hits thing accomplished by Johnny Kling in 1902.
Sure.
Pinky Higgins in 1938.
Oh boy, Pinky.
And Walt Dropo in 1952. Dropo. Pinky Higgins. Remember it like it was
Grandpa.
yesterday.
Grandpa Pinky. What a stud. Yeah. Well, it's look, certain things that the Twins got going. Miranda and Royce Lewis just holding it down at third base, just alternating DH and third base together.
Well, I mean, when Royce Lewis is healthy, I mean, I don't think we mentioned it last episode, but on the IL yet again. I mean, the guy, it's
There's
concerning.
so much talent there. There's so much talent. It's so annoying.
How crazy that is that though, that people make the comp of like Byron Buxton with this Royce Lewis situation. It's like they're literally they share the field together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's a stretch. They rarely share the field together, but you get my point.
Yeah. I'm a fan. It's funny because I obviously get like you and I both get like notifications of fantasy stuff like ad drop. And if we could find the number of times that Jose Miranda has been added and dropped in this league, it's gone. That number's got to be higher than most names. And for him holding it down now, safely on a roster with this performance, good for him.
And I'm obviously not rooting for his downfall. I have nothing against Jose Miranda. Seems like a great dude. But the reality of it is, and I'm curious to see what happens, but you and I both know how baseball works. It doesn't matter like what level you're talking about. I just think the reality is that he most likely is going to experience a little bit of a cold streak because that just seems to be the way the game goes. And it's nothing against him. It's nothing against what he's capable of doing. But baseball just has a funny way of working out sometimes where it looks like a beach ball, and then you show up to the park the next day and it's like you're trying to hit a lima bean. That's just how it goes. And
yeah,
like for his sake, I hope he can keep some sort of consistency at the plate. But I'm curious to see. I'll keep an eye on how this follows up. A name we won't be keeping an eye on because he's going to be out for some time. Colton Brewer out with a broken hand. Get this, after punching a wall.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Is there video?
I can find it.
I'd
There
like
was
to
a
know.
shout out to the photographer, by the way, because there was an actual photo of it happening.
Really?
Yeah, you just type in Colton Brewer broken hand, and it'll show up in the in the results.
Ooh, yep. Classic back wall of the dugout.
Like, man is clenched.
That's tough.
I venture to say this isn't the first time he's thrown a punch.
Probably not.
I don't know anything about the guy. I pitched for the Red Sox for a short period of time, but don't really know much about the guy. But I'd venture to say, not the first time he's thrown hands. But like you and I were talking about it before we hopped on. This isn't the first guy that this has happened to. Like in the duration of in the life of this podcast, I think there have been a handful of guys, no pun intended, a handful of guys who have broken their hand by punching either the dugout wall, a Gatorade cooler, something.
Yeah.
And
so many things to attack. Why a rock solid wall?
I get it. But like, I think our sentiment has been the same every time. And it's that I kind of get it. Because when you just cannot figure out the game of baseball.
I want to do it based on what I'm watching as a fan.
As a Yankee fan, Nate wants to punch a dugout wall, a concrete dugout wall.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure for those of you out there that golf, I mean, you could really say anything.
There's levels of frustration.
Yeah, but like golf is a similar situation where like one day you just have it and then for the next month you don't. It's just how the game works. Baseball is no different. You get fed up because you recognize that it's not necessarily anything happening externally. It's not that your coaches are putting you in a bad spot. It's not that the opposition is doing something to inhibit your abilities. It's yourself. It's yourself. And you're going, what am I doing wrong? I can't figure it out. And when you reach a point where you can't figure out what to do or you can't identify what the issue is, you revert to frustration. You revert to lashing out. You revert to punching walls. And it's not a common thing, certainly, but some guys they just see red, and you come back after a rough outing or a rough inning or a rough string of ABs, and you look for the first thing to punch. And for a lot of times, it's the thing that's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Once you come into the dugout, and the reality is more often than not, you're going to miss some time. So
there's a kid in high school, the worst timing ever. I was a freshman. I was on the sophomore team, but we were watching our varsity team just light it up, and they were making a run, and it was in the Elite Eight, and our second baseman, leadoff hitter, struck out, punched the dugout wall, broke his hand. Next guy up hit a walk-off double. That's just the worst timing. You know what I'm saying? You think you lost the game because of your actions, you break your hand, and then you can't play when your team moves on to the Final Four. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know, man. I just give me the epic blow-ups. I miss the epic blow-ups. When's the last blow-up we saw that? I mean, it's like Big Poppy to the bullpen
telephone
phone.
Yeah, the bullpen phone in Baltimore.
Which that's awesome.
That's like a true blow-up.
We've
seen guys throw their glove or kick a cooler, but
that was epic. I mean, the Zambrano with the bat to the Gatorade. Paul O'Neill did it a million times.
You could kind of throw the Papelbon and Harper incident in there, because you could tell there were some things brewing there, and that kind of manifested into a little bit of a brawl. But
feed off of that dugout drama. Punching a wall is just it's so instantaneously over. I need bubble gum flying everywhere. You know what I mean? I need seeds exploding.
Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks is you just know. Well, I mean, I would hope, but you just know with Brewer, he's the second that happens, it's just instant regret.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of times that rage that you feel for how poorly you're playing, it's greater than the regret I think that you feel moments after, or almost instantaneously. That's how bad it gets when you're struggling and you just can't figure out why. That is not a fun place to be. So I get it. I don't recommend it, but
he's gonna think about it for months. That's all he's gonna think about. It's tough, man.
Tough break. You want to talk about tough? The Pirates hit so many home runs this weekend. I think, what was it, Friday against the Mets. They ran out of home run fireworks because they hit so many. 7.
Question: Was there a
runs.
fireworks show on the 4th? Did that use up some of the fireworks?
That's a great point. Let's do a little digging around here. Were the Pirates at home on Thursday? Because that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Let's see here.
And was there a fireworks show? I feel like every ballpark does a fireworks show now.
Pirates were at home. They lost. They lost to the Cardinals 3-2.
You still do a fireworks show. It's the 4th, right?
No, for sure. But I'm saying it's not like it was a offensive juggernaut of a night.
Yeah.
So I would imagine
just got to be better. Got to be better. Did I see O'Neal Cruz put one in the river?
You mean in that game?
One of the games this weekend, I saw he put one in Allegheny.
That must have been, I guess, was that yesterday? Because Friday it was Yasmani Grandal, Michael A. Taylor, Rowdy Tillett. Why? Pause. Why? And I think there's probably a reason. I may remember it when he was in Washington. I probably heard the reason. But why does Michael A. Taylor always have his middle initial listed out?
It's a great question. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Like I'm not saying
I
like
think they have like
Yasmani.
a specific request to choose what they're called, right?
That's fair. It's just I'm not sitting here going like Yasmani D Grandal.
It's true. Are there any other middle initials?
I know JD Martinez loves having his full name on the back. It's not the same, but it's similar. Like on his nameplate on the jersey, it doesn't just say Martinez. But I think that goes back to his time in Detroit when he was with Victor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Middle initial.
I don't know. It's just interesting. I didn't know if maybe you knew a little trivia up your sleeve. But yeah, it's interesting. You always hear you never hear Michael Taylor. It's always Michael A. Taylor. But no, the list of players that had a home run on Friday in this barrage of offense: Yasmani Grandal, Michael A. Taylor, Rowdy Tellez, Jack Sawinski, Brian Reynolds. Rowdy Tellez and Brian Reynolds each had 2.
Oh, Rowdy. I feel like the first base as a position across the league isn't very deep. Very, very shallow. This is like the year of the shortstop or the era of the shortstops. Man, first base is just not a deep well.
Yeah, and I got some. You mentioned that I got some kickback on my comments not too long ago when we were talking when Bobby Witt and Gunnar Henderson were neck and neck, making a push for the All-Star starter and all that. We were talking about them and what an MVP race between those two would look like in the future. And I said something to the effect of like, we're in a golden age of shortstops. And I got a lot of kickback on that. And I'm like, I'm not sitting here saying it's the golden age, but to say that it's
we're
think about the
definitely
names.
upgrading.
Yeah. Why? Who would disagree with that? Like, look around the league.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want about Francisco Lindor. You got Francisco Lindor, Trey Turner, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt. I mean, like the list goes on and on.
Willie Adames, O'Neal Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz. You could put Volpe in that list if you wanted to. There's a lot of names you could put in there.
And sure, some of those are better than the others, but like the list,
but it's
collectively,
an up and coming group.
Yeah, like that is
Tim Anderson,
very strong list. Yeah. Okay.
Never thought I'd mention his name twice in a podcast on my own. I like throwing shade.
Those crickets were not in lieu of congratulations as they have been in the past. Those were just crickets.
Lou.
But yeah, big night for the Pirates this weekend. Ties a franchise record, 7 home runs.
I can't imagine what the pictures of fireworks going off behind PNC at night with the bridge lit up. That's got to be some of the coolest backdrop.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sight. There wasn't really much going down this weekend, I'll be honest, in terms of like national news, national headlines. I mean, there were some guys certainly that had exceptional outings, whether it be on the bump or to plate. But in terms of big headlines, there wasn't too much going on this weekend. So I didn't really have much beyond this. Do you want to maybe run through a?
Shall we?
Are we trying to Are we trying to keep the momentum rolling here? Coming fresh off a dub last episode.
Shall we?
A little bit of guess that player.
All right.
We're 1 and 2.
Thinking.
We're 1 and 2.
Okay, how about a rule here?
Yeah.
Maybe not an everyday rule, just today's rule. Maybe a name we haven't, at least to start it. You can't name a name that we've already mentioned today.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. No, yeah, that should be an ongoing rule. Like you don't want
just to start it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
There's too many instances where we could potentially say the same name. We've been talking about them, you know?
For sure.
You good there?
Yeah, but like after the initial guess, it's fair game.
Okay. Yeah. 100%. Because if it leads us there, it leads us there.
Yeah.
It's not our fault.
Yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Name we haven't mentioned today. Man, I got to think outside the box here because I feel like we've said a lot of names today.
Should we?
Especially
should we make,
I ran through like the all-star names. Like we listed a lot of guys.
Should we
off.
make a new rule that where like the first name also has to be active or also has to be retired? Like, should we?
I think it's kind of been an unspoken thing where we've gone present day, right?
Active, but someone
Or
we haven't
active, yeah.
mentioned. Okay.
I don't want to make too many rules. I don't want to coddle
For sure.
ourselves here. All right. Name we haven't mentioned today. All right.
Okay.
All right, I got a guy.
You got a guy.
Yep, got a guy.
I got a guy.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Paul
Corbin Carroll.
Goldschmidt.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, there's okay.
Yeah.
Can you get there? Can you get there? I think what if we got there right now on guess number 2?
Can I get there? Okay. All right. We get 10 guesses for those who are unfamiliar or need a reminder. We get 10 guesses here to land on the same guy.
I'm almost
All right.
gonna be bummed if we get it right here because like
Okay. No.
because that's like so fast. That's like we're never gonna top this. This is gonna be a record thing.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Christian
Madison
Walker.
Bumgarner. I thought you were playing subliminal games there when you're like, I'm really going to be bummed if we land on it here. And that's why I was getting a little peeved. Okay.
No,
all right.
no,
Glad
no,
to know
no,
you
no.
weren't playing that game. All right. So Madison Bumgarner and Christian Walker. All right. That, like, if we don't set a record here for shortest game, like we're
hanging out.
we gotta figure something out here.
Hanging out in Phoenix.
oh, I got it. All right.
Do you? Okay, let's roll.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. What are we doing?
What are we doing? All right, third guess. 3, 2, 1.
Randy
Ketel
Johnson.
Marte. Okay, dude. What? Don't lose me here.
I
mean,
don't know where you.
we're circling the drain here, man. Why? I don't know why you're going off into retired land here. All right.
Lefty.
You're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
Diamondback.
No.
I think
You're
there's something
overthinking
there.
it. No.
You're just working your way around the active
Yeah.
Diamondbacks roster.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's pretty much a cop out. There has to be what's in common with those two names. That's the
No,
whole
that's
point.
the strategy. The
No.
ultimate goal is to land on the same name at the same time. So if that means just bounce around the roster, that's what I'm going to do.
I hate it. I
I
think it's what those guys have in common. That's the whole point. That's what I think.
I'm real close to pulling the plug and restarting this because I don't like the way this game has gone thus far.
Well,
We're 3 guesses deep. You said Randy Johnson.
you said Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte.
I think that's the whole point. Is what those, because that could change.
I know.
Based
okay,
on where
hand
we
up,
go.
Hand up.
There we go.
I let
That's all
us
I needed.
astray.
That's all I needed.
I let us astray for the sake of trying to just expedite the guessing here.
That's all I needed.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate
Randy
that.
Johnson and Ketel Marte.
I got it. I'm there.
How?
This could really throw us off, though. This could really mess with us.
Ketel Marte, Randy Johnson.
This could really set us
Did you
back.
have a name already? Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I do.
Randy Johnson and Ketel Marte. What? Oh, okay. I've got a name, and I'm just doing this just to piss you off, if I'm being honest.
Oh no.
Hold on. I need to confirm something real quick.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're giving me a hint that I think it would change.
No, you're
what I'm about to
you're
say.
1,000% not guessing this person. I was like 99% sure about what I needed to confirm, and I was right, so we're good. All right, this is our fourth guess. 3, you got a guy?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Tony
Richie
Womack.
Sexton. Wow. Okay.
Okay. We're going back to the days.
Tony Womack and
That's
Richie Sexton.
It's a throwback name, ain't it?
Both of them are.
Yeah.
You don't hear Richie Sexton much.
You really
these days.
don't. Why would that piss me off?
Because I thought you were just because you arrived at a name so quickly that I thought yours just probably made sense, and I just wasn't getting that. I wasn't picking up on your logic, so I was like, I'm just gonna throw out a guy that played for the D-backs for like a year.
We also have one of the shortest guys, one of the tallest guys, so that'll be fun.
That's true.
Richie Sexton and Tony.
I said a year.
Womack.
He literally played 23 games for them. That's wild.
You remember
okay.
playing with him in like old school video games?
Backyard
It's just-
baseball?
it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No, I mean like I don't know if he was. I think he was in like MLB The Show.
Are you talking? Who are we
When I was a
talking?
kid, Richie Sexton,
Yeah.
and like his like you could only see like the shoulders because he was so tall.
Yeah. I think at Backyard Baseball, he was with the Brewers
The Brew Crew.
on that team or on that game.
All right.
Yeah.
I
sure
I got
was.
a name. This could throw us off a little bit.
Richie Sexton and Tony Womack.
This could lead us astray.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one.
You feel good?
This is our fifth guess?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I got one. I feel good about it. 3, 2, 1.
Ricky
Craig
Weeks.
Counsell.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. We're getting there. I don't like how many D-backs we've been listing off, but again, we're circling the drain here. So
Yeah. Well, one could argue we've shifted gears into Brewer land.
who did you say?
Ricky Weeks.
Did he play for the D-backs too?
I don't think so. I went Brewers.
No, I know. He did play for the D-backs. I knew it.
Really?
Yeah, 2016. How about that? That's funny. Okay. Wow, he was in Major League Baseball.
Are we working on that correlation now, or is that what we're going to build off of?
Well, that's what we have to do.
Those two teams?
No, not necessarily. Just do what you got to do. No hints given here.
Ricky Weeks
Weeks.
and Craig Counsell. One with a lot of swag, one that owes us some swag because he's
Now,
got
see,
negative.
stop thinking out loud. This shifts my line of thinking around. That's not what we're doing here. You
I'm just
arrive
commentating.
You
Just
arrive at your name on your own. I've got a name.
You do?
Yep. I'm getting to the point where I'm not putting as much thought into it because
Okay.
I'm not trying to drag the people out as long.
Okay, let's roll.
All right, this is our sixth guess. 3, 2, 1.
Aramis
Pokey
Ramirez. Pokey Reese. Aramis Ramirez. Pokey Reese and Aramis Ramirez. Why can't I think of Pokey Reese's face?
Lucas says 3, 2, 1. Chuck Norris.
It's such a throwback name. I love it.
We got 4 guesses left.
Pokey Reese and Aramis Ramirez.
That's World Series champion Pokey Reese to you. Pokey Reese and Aramis Ramirez. 4 guesses left. Think, chat. What do these people have in common? Pokey Reese, Aramis Ramirez. I got a name.
I don't have a name.
I got a name.
I don't have a name.
It's sort of loose logic, but it's there.
Is it?
Yeah. Very loose. So loose that it's purely just to get a name off.
What does that mean?
I just don't want to think about it too much.
You're just tired of thinking about it.
No, it's just that I don't, because then I start spinning myself in circles with logic.
All right. Whatever. Let's roll.
Playing fast and loose here.
Yeah.
What did I say? 4 guesses left?
I have no logic attached to mine, but I'm just going to go for it. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Edgar
Tony Clark.
Renteria.
I have no idea where your logic came from.
Ramos Ramirez, Cubs, rival of the Cardinals, rival of the Cubs. Pokey Reese beat the Cardinals in the World Series 2004. Edgar Renteria, final out. It's loose, but it's logic.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I told you I didn't have any logic. Tony Clark and who?
Edgar Renteria.
All right. Let's send it.
Who did I say? Edgar Renteria.
Yeah.
And Tony Clark.
I think they got some stuff in common, man.
I feel like they do.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. 3 guesses left. 3,
Okay.
2, 1. Scott
David
Rowland.
Ortiz.
Okay. Like we're there.
Yeah. How'd you get to Scott Rowland?
Edgar Renteria, Cardinals infielder. I thought Tony Womack Tony Clark played? Did he play for the Cardinals, or am I crazy?
Tony Clark played for everybody, I think. See, I was going like abstract.
I knew he played for the Tigers. I knew he played for the D-backs. I swore he played for the Cardinals. Did he not?
I was going like first base DH. Like, who do you think of, you know?
But what does that have to do with Edgar Renteria?
It's like the controversial DH being in the Hall of Fame, David Ortiz. I don't know. It's pretty loose.
No, dude, not Edgar Martinez. Edgar Renteria.
Oh, Edgar Renteria.
Edgar Renteria. You just heard Edgar and we're like, oh, let's go. Oh,
I heard
dude,
Edgar.
if it was Edgar Martinez, I'm easily getting to Dave Ortiz for sure.
That's my bad.
That's
my bad. So where are we
fine.
at now? Where are we at now? We're at David Ortiz and who?
And
Who'd you say?
What did I just say? Scott Rowland.
Scott Rowland and David Ortiz.
I got it. Come on, man. Don't overthink this one. I think I gave us an extra guess, but do we have 3 left? I feel like I gave us an extra guess here.
I'm overthinking this right now.
I feel like my brain's moving a little quicker than other nights, so maybe I just got to it quicker and I didn't have to think about it too much, but it makes sense to me.
Okay. I got
Scott Rowland and who did you say?
David Ortiz.
Yeah. All right. I got a name.
Okay.
3 guesses left. 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Ryan
Albert
Howard.
Pujols.
Okay. That's not terrible. That's not
We
terrible.
can work with that. With 2 guesses left.
Ryan Howard and Albert Pujols.
Let's get this record back to 500. Okay. We're sitting at 1 and 2. We're sitting at 1 and 2. We've got a 1-game winning streak right now. Can we capitalize here?
Ryan Howard and Albert Pujols.
Ryan Howard and Albert Pujols. Ooh. I got a name.
You don't love it, do you?
Not wild about it.
I'm not wild about mine.
But it's, again, kind of, playing fast and loose here.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Miguel
Bryce
Cabrera.
Harper. Oh.
Okay. I was just thinking of like first baseman in that era of that bracket.
Miguel Cabrera.
I got how you got there.
I think at one point or another during this game, Miguel Cabrera has come to mind too. So he's been there. He's been floating for me.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay. Last guess: Bryce Harper and Miguel Cabrera.
Bryce Harper and Miguel Cabrera.
I don't know if we can overcome this one. This one's tough.
Bryce Harper and Miguel Cabrera. I kind of have a name, but like not. I don't feel great about it. Okay.
Bryce Harper, Miguel Cabrera. Yeah, I got a name too. I'm not crazy about it, and we probably might just have to take the L on this one, but I'm going to go with it.
You ready?
3, 2, 1. Mike
Ryan
Trout.
Zimmerman.
That's tough. Took the L.
Where
Mike
was
Trout.
the Trout. Where was the Trout one? Where are you going there? Where was the brain going?
Great. One of the greatest right-handed hitters of our generation. Miggy.
Sure.
Bryce Harper, kind of in that, like, one of the greater hitters we've seen in our generation, but also very closely connected, obviously, and tied to Mike Trout with their careers and getting called up and all that.
All right.
Yeah, I was stab in the dark there.
I was going like started off at a different position, moved to first base, and then I kind of used the Miguel logic of like just stuck around just like a little too long.
That's fair. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's tough with Harper, though. Like, I
Harper,
definitely
but
get the Miggy.
I have a feeling that could be a thing
Towards
the end of this contract. It could feel awfully Miggy Cabrera like.
Yeah. I mean, if Miguel
I got
Cabrera,
like 7 years left.
yeah, if Miguel Cabrera has a fall off, I don't think think Bryce Harper is immune to a fall off. That's
what I'm saying.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. I hate to say that. I'm gonna cover my eyes when that time comes. I don't want to see it. I might just stop watching baseball so I don't have to experience it.
Could be a topic for a different day. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard to see a hero fade. It's not easy.
Sad day, man. Sad day.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I guess I'm gonna go.
Yep. Hate to see a hero go. Love to watch him leave. Yeah, that's all we got. We'll see you guys. What's today? Today's Sunday. We'll see you guys Wednesday. Oh, little reminder here. Let's get up on the screen here.
There it is.
Reminder, our Major League Baseball Home Run Derby live stream watch party Monday, a week from tomorrow or a week from today, depending upon when you're listening to this. Monday, July 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern. And like I said, we may be on the stream a little early, maybe doing a little bit of maybe some prediction giveaways. So you can get your picks in, you can get your bets in, because we're gonna be giving away some quiche.
Doing giveaways.
Gonna be giving away some quiche. Gonna be giving away some, who knows, some all-star merch. Who knows? Maybe a jersey. Maybe a hat. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe both. Maybe all of it. Maybe more. Who knows? We'll see.
Who knows?
But a week from basically now.
Come hang out.
Mark your calendar, set your reminder, set your alarms.
That means you
Don't
got to
make plans.
subscribe, you got to like, you got to comment, you got to do all the stuff, and then turn those notifications on.
Yes, we'll be available on that stream via our Facebook, The 30 Take. We'll be on the YouTube, The 30 Take, and my Twitter X account, Kyle Corwin Takes.
Perfect.
It'll be on all of those, so come hang out. If you want to get in the chat, I think you got to be on YouTube or Facebook. I'd have to double check. I don't think X with the whole Elon takeover thing. I don't think the chat option is available with the software that we use for our stream. So and feel free to come hang out. But if you want to get if you want to drop your picks for some prizes,
If you want to win,
if
you're a winner,
just be at a place where you can drop those predictions and picks. Other than that, we will see you guys Wednesday. I think that's all we got, so we're going to get out of here.
don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, we're looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.